amazing to me.
Welcome. We're here to talk about the second song on the CD, Unwanted. It's a song called Grace. You know, one of my favorite hymns of all times was Amazing Grace. This song's a little different than Amazing Grace. What's behind it?
Yes, it is. Our friend JD, who did the accompaniment track, put a little bit of Amazing Grace in the background, and one of the background singers sings a little bit of that song, and it's a great addition. But you know, the journey Holy Spirit was taking me down was a healing journey, and you know, the premise behind the song, the idea behind the song was, you know, what a gift when somebody's put in your life who mirrors, imitates the grace of God. And so, unfortunately, in my life, I was married prior to marrying you, and we had an upside down, back and forth, crazy ride. And unfortunately, there was 2 different times in that marriage that I had left my wife at the time for another man. And amazingly, at the end of those 6 months periods of time, she took me back, and I couldn't believe that. You know, how could she love me after what I'd done? You know, I had betrayed her, I'd betrayed our family, and the last thing that I ever expected was her to welcome me back home with open arms, but she did. And you know, the amazing thing is that's what you know, the story of the prodigal son, where the father's out watching and waiting for him to come home, and runs and meets him, you know, and falls on him and weeps, and you know, it's the last thing that the prodigal expected. And I think with me, the last thing I thought was my wife at the time would welcome me home, and even if she did, there's no way that God the Father would somehow welcome me back into walking with him again. But he did. He does. He did not squash me like I assumed he would do, with my rebellion and my sexual immorality and promiscuity and unfaithfulness in my marriage. And you know, that's the last thing that I ever wanted to do ever again. I never wanted to get married again. I never wanted to go down another path where I might betray someone else, and unfortunately that happened in our marriage. And thank you for forgiving me and loving me like God has loved me. And you know, my prayer is that, you know, through the power of the Holy Spirit, I'll have that grace, that enabling power in my life now to no longer hurt the ones that I love, which is you and God and Jesus. And so that's my prayer, and I believe that through my faith in the power of the Holy Spirit, not my power, that He will keep us free from the enemy's attacks in our marriage. And that's grace.
Yes, it is. And the cool thing is, God gives us all grace, because we all need it. We all need it. We all mess up. We all do things that we wish we hadn't have done. And you know, we don't live in a vacuum. We do hurt people.
Unfortunately, we do.
We do. And
Power of the cross.
so we hope that you enjoy the song Grace, and thank you for listening.
Thank you.